Hey guys, welcome to the second ever installation of this series, this podcast slash video series where I talk to you about life experiences, goals, talk to you about how to deal with things that I've experienced in my life, and problems I'm currently dealing with that I would like to portray what I'm doing and learn through everybody else. And I'm putting it all on here so we could all learn and we could all see and we could all improve together. And if you like more content like this, go ahead, subscribe, hit the like button, comment what you would like to see next and any topics you'd like me to cover. And you could also go to the Instagram, Matthew the WH, aka Matthew the Workhorse. Go on the Instagram, check it out. I got plenty of reels, pictures, motivational posts every single day, and just some of my life so you guys could learn and see through me. And when I say learn, I say that very loosely. I am just like all of you. I am not perfect and I have many flaws, but that's what we're going to cover together. Today's episode is about criticism. How do you deal with criticism? Do you just deny everything? Do you sit around and get mad about it, thinking about it all day? How do you deal with criticism? Do you try improving yourself? Do you just listen to every single bit of criticism and from straight there on just try being better at every single thing? Do you get criticism at work? Do you go to work and other coworkers are criticizing you and you just try doing what they're doing? Or do you just say that they're stupid and they don't know what they're talking about? How do you handle it? Well, we're going to get into it today. First step in handling criticism that's thrown at you is to just evaluate it first. You want to evaluate how you're doing. You got to ask yourself a couple questions before you could react, okay? And one of my good friends and one of the most wisest people I know is one of my coworkers. And sorry about that cut, guys. My girlfriend walked in while it was filming time and I had to give her the boot, told her to get out, and it's my time. You can't interrupt filming anymore, and I'm now mad at her. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't say that. But anyway, well, where I was one of my coworkers and friends, someone that I look up to in a lot of ways. He gave me some really good advice one night because someone went around telling everyone that I was being lazy, that I wasn't doing good, and I just wasn't doing my best with certain things, and they were spewing it to certain people, and then they came back to me. And when I first heard that, I was mad. I was angry, I was frustrated, and I was just thinking like, how could someone possibly say that about me? How could someone say that about me? Because how I go with work is I try doing everything as good as I can. I try being fast, I try being efficient, I try learning from my mistakes, and anyone who knows me knows that most days that I'm working, I push the pedal and I keep going no matter what. I'll help other people around and I'll just try my best with everything. I don't just barely do anything. I'm always going, gas pedal going, right? Some nights I'm not perfect. Nobody is, but that frustrated me. That made me angry. So later that night, me and that friend went to the gym and I told him that. It's like, how could someone possibly think that about me? I was frustrated. And he looked at me and he gave me some of the best advice. He said, well, you got to ask yourself something. Do you really think that you do as good as you say you do? And he wasn't saying that because he was doubting me. He was saying that because we all got to ask ourselves that. We all got to ask ourselves a question. Is that right? Like, do we think we're good, or are we just blowing smoke our own butts here? Like, what are we doing here? So I asked myself that. I asked myself, am I really doing good, right? And I said, yeah, of course I am. I'm the best. No, that's a joke. But I do think that I was doing the best, and I'm never lazy. And I went on a bathroom break that day, and she didn't see me there, so they just assumed I was being lazy, right? So it was a miscommunication. If we're being honest, it was just a miscommunication. But the thing that really opened my eyes up to that was when he told me another thing that you got to ask yourself. Well, did God see it? Did God see what you were doing? Does God know that you were working hard? Right? And also ask yourself, do you think you were doing, like, if you know that and God knows that and everyone like else, sees how you are, why are you letting it get to you? Why are you letting that bother you? And after hearing that, I was like, you know what? That is true. Now, any sort of criticism I get, I always think, well, God saw what happened. I saw what happened. I know what happened. I asked myself questions. I said, am I actually doing good? Am I actually doing as well as I think I am? And I asked myself those questions. And what came with it? I had confidence in my abilities, and I had confidence that I was being good. And then I asked him, should I confront that person and say, why are you spewing this stuff about me? Why are you sitting here lying and trying to make everyone turn against me? Do we need to go in the parking lot? Like, no parking lot, no nothing. I didn't need to do any of that. You know why? Because I knew it was someone who probably just had a bad day. It was someone who probably is not very confident in themselves, so they were taking it out on me because they didn't like seeing me how I work. Or what I think it was, just miscommunication, like I said. Things happen, you know? And that friend gives a lot of great advice. He is one of the wisest people I know. And I might just link his Instagram in the description because he's got a lot of good things that a lot of people like us could follow. So I will link that, but I'll ask him before I do that, just in case I said something in the wrong way. But anyway, I am just good with everything. Like, I'm okay with criticism. I welcome criticism, and that's how we should all be. We should all welcome it. So the first step you need to do with anything is you need to evaluate yourself and ask yourself questions. Do you think that you're doing good, right? And is the criticism necessary? And it doesn't have to be with work, it could be with anything. If you're in the gym with your friend and your friend says, well, I don't think you work out hard enough. I don't think you're as good as you think you are. Evaluate it. Okay, is it true? Well, if it is with the gym, it's really not the other person's business, but it's him being a friend and trying to be honest with you, right? So take that for what it is. Okay, it's my friend trying to motivate me. Either that or it's your friend trying to make you feel like crap and he's not a good friend. There's many different ways you could look at it. So you got to ask yourself that question. Is this accurate? Is this not accurate? Sit down and think about it, right? Ask yourself a couple questions. My friend said, I think that your bench max isn't going up because I don't think you work out hard enough. Okay, ask yourself, do I work out hard enough? If you're like, you know what, maybe he's right. Maybe that's accurate. Maybe I don't work out hard enough. Well, then you know your solution. If you're at work and someone says, hey, I don't think you're good enough at this specific thing because you don't do this. Well, then you ask yourself and you're like, you know what? Maybe I don't do that right. Maybe I don't do this like I should. Then you know what to improve on that specific thing. Okay? Now, say that it's wrong though. Say with the gym situation, say, well, I do push myself hard. I feel like I go to failure every time and I don't think it's accurate what they're saying. Well, then you could choose not to take that advice. Or say someone at work. Say, like my situation, I know I push myself hard enough at work. So, is it someone just having a bad day trying to take it out on me? Who knows? Maybe they're insecure because they don't work as hard. You never know, especially in most situations where everyone's competitive with everyone. You can't just expect everyone to be 100% honest with you and not have emotion behind it, because we're humans and a lot of us have emotions, right? So why would you let that get to you? Why do you let criticism get to you? Is what that person doing, is that affecting you? Because if it is, then the issue isn't them, it's you for letting that happen. It's you for letting their situations get to you. That is the issue here. And what we need to do as people is we need to learn how to ask ourselves these questions. Are we actually doing bad? Are we actually not doing this right? Are we actually not pushing ourselves in this situation? Or are they just saying stuff because they're in a bad mood? Why are they saying this? Ask yourself these questions. You got to ask questions to yourself, and that's where you'll find your answer to everything. And like my friend said, God's watching you, and you know. If God knows and you know, then what's the issue? Right? Pretend, and this is one thing that I do in my day-to-day life, and I think it's the best way to live. Pretend like someone's watching you in everything you do. Pretend someone is in the corner watching you in every situation. Do you think that you would be comfortable with that? Do you think you're doing good enough? Like, pretend like when you're at work, pretend your main boss, the person who's responsible for firing you or hiring you, all right? Pretend that they are there every single second of every single time you're working, all right? If you're at the gym, picture one of the best gym advice people that you like, people that give you the best gym advice. Pretend they're sitting right there. Would they be happy with what you're doing? And if you're religious, like a lot of people should be, if God is watching you, if God is laying his eyes down on you right this second, are you doing well enough for him? Are you being a good person? Are you living by your faith? Things like this is questions you should be asking you. You need to ask yourself questions, and that is how you deal with criticism. You got to combat it firsthand. And one of the last things you want to do is get in a fight over it. When it comes to confronting people, though, when you feel the need to confront someone about it, because there will be a time and a place where you need to do that. If it affects everything you do, sometimes you just gotta confront people. And that's not easy to do for a lot of people. So one of the biggest things you want to do when you confront someone is keep your emotions in check. You have control over yourself. You do not have control over others. You can control your emotions. You can't control their emotions. Remember that. So if you feel the need to confront someone, go in there and keep it cool, and you'll see what happens. A lot of them will respect you more for doing that. And another person that has given me advice, and this is a different person, he told me someone could have a Hot Wheel collection who's been collecting Hot Wheels their entire life. And then someone who bought a couple packs think they know everything about Hot Wheels, and they'll tear your collection down because they think they know everything, but this person's been doing it since they're 4. Well, what can person be who was the avid Hot Wheel collector since he was a kid? How can person B confront person A? Well, person A is not going to hear it because in their head they're right. It doesn't matter what you say, they're going to be right about it. So what can person B do? Well, okay, he clearly knows everything, so whatever. You gotta just walk away sometimes. Sometimes you can't convince someone, so you don't have control over them, but you have control over you. How do you let that affect you? Are you that mad about the fact that you think they have a better collection than you? No. You know in your heart that you have a good one, and you know this and you know this. They don't know that. Oh well. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you just gotta stop caring about what other people have to say. And with that, we're gonna leave this second episode off with that. I'm sorry, my words are not making any sense right now, but we'll get better over time with this. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, recording these things, and it will get better over time. So, if you like this and you thought this helped, go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, and also, if you have a topic you would like me to discuss, please leave that comment down low. I appreciate you guys for clicking on this, and hope you all have a blessed day. Thank you.